Well, good morning. As you might have guessed, it's a little chilly out this morning. I've got my water on to boil to make my coffee and make my breakfast. It's so cold that I'm going to change it up a little bit. Instead of having my regular oatmeal, I'm going to have this Packet Gourmet Good Day Sunshine Bowl. I'm going to mix it up a little. And I need to get my spoon to get my coffee out. I had quite the night. There's no real level spots for to pitch a tent here, and in the middle of the night my tent shifted and the rain fly came off of it, or came loose, and I had to get up in the middle of the night and fix that. But yesterday when I pitched the tent, I really didn't care because I was wore out. I figured up my miles. I did it at least 10 miles yesterday, and the terrain was very, very rocky. My ankles were constantly turning, you know, because the trail was so rough that I had a tough go of it. But we got into camp, and after my ibuprofen and a chocolate protein shake, I was doing a little bit better, and it made the difference too, because now I feel like I can get up and hike again. If I didn't have what I needed yesterday evening, I would have had my doubts about this morning. Okay, we've made our coffee, and now we've got our adding 6 ounces of water into the packet here. And then we've got to give it a good stir. Speaking of stirring, if you ever have one of these type of meals, don't forget to pull this little desiccant packet out of it before you try to rehydrate it. And oftentimes it's buried down in the food, and you have to take your spoon and stir for the packet. I don't know that it would hurt you to leave that packet in there, but I wouldn't want to have to find out the hard way. So now we've got that stirred up real good. Then we take it and put it in our little thermal pouch here. That way it helps keep the water warm. That way we've got a hot breakfast instead of a lukewarm breakfast. Okay, for all you hot chocolate addicts out there, if you don't like coffee or in the morning, I always have a packet of this Carnation Breakfast Essentials on trail. It's good for about 140, 150 calories. Normally, if you use this stuff at home, they recommend using skim milk, but I mixed it up with water and heated the water over the camp stove, and I have a hard time telling the difference between this and hot chocolate. So you know, there's a little hack for you right there that I just discovered. thought I'd share it with you. Our breakfast is almost rehydrated, so we'll check on it after we have another sip. Oh. That tastes awful good on a cold morning, I tell you. Let's have a look at our breakfast here. And we'll give it a quick stir. It looks like it's thoroughly rehydrated. Yep, looks good to go. That is really, really good. And that only takes about 6 ounces of water to rehydrate, which is less than half of what it takes to do the oatmeal. And this is a lot better than the oatmeal. Of course, it comes with a price too. Some of these meals can be a little on the expensive side. I'll go ahead and let you go for now. I'll finish this up because I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch me choke this food down. So I'll catch up with you later. Okay, we'll take one last look around the campsite just to be sure that we didn't forget anything. I don't see anything. Checking the living room and the kitchen. And we're going to check out the bedroom here. Don't see anything that we left. So we'll just collect our trekking poles and we'll be on our way. And here we go, starting off day 3 on the trail. I'm going to take a little bit different way out of here than I intended. I looked at the map this morning and it looks like there's a better way to do this than the way that I'd originally planned. So that's what we're going to do. And that involves following this trail out. As you can see by the amount of rocks on the trail, it's hard to make any decent time on the trail. Usually I can average 2.2, 2.3 miles per hour with a full pack and everything that I need. But not on this trail, you don't. Be a good way to sprain an ankle. Plus, you've got to navigate around some of these bog holes. And, you know, it just takes time to pick your way through. So don't be in any big hurry out here. Remember, we're out here to enjoy nature too. So don't get caught up with, you know, trying to be the fastest hiker on the trail or worrying about where you've got to be. Worry more about watching your step and not breaking anything, not spraining an ankle. This trail looks a lot different than those trails out of Beach Fork State Park, I can tell you that. This trail's a lot more challenging. And if you are less experienced, I would not advise you to hike this trail by yourself. I would either wait until you gained more experience or come out here with someone like myself. Oh, look, got a nice little campsite in there. That's a lot nicer than I stayed last night. A campsite there, and then you have another one over there. But I was just, I was worn out yesterday. I really couldn't go any further. So I camped where I camped at, and we made out okay. So no worries. Next time, we'll know exactly where that's at, and we can stay at one of those. Okay. Looks like we've got a bit of a water crossing this morning. We'll just ease our way down. I don't know if you can tell how steep this is, but this is pretty steep. But we'll just take our time and we'll be fine. Okay. We'll kind of have a look at this and see what the best way to get across is. Okay. Let's go for it. Just on a side note, if you needed water, this would be a good place to get it. But I still have enough water left over to get us back to the trailhead. So we don't need to worry about that. Plus, after carrying all that extra water yesterday, I have no desire to camel up like I did yesterday. But you know, I really wasn't for sure where all the water was out here. I've never been on this trail before. So, better safe than sorry. Okay, and we made it across without any wet feet. And the fun's not over yet. And there are all kinds of little campsites in here. Oh my goodness. Look at all these. Let's see if we can pick up a trail here. I'm going to stop for a minute to check my map because I don't see an obvious trail. So before we go too far in the wrong direction, we'll stop and check it out. There's some guys up on about 4 backpackers ahead of me. I took a minute and stopped and let them move on through. They're involved in their conversation, and I'd just rather listen to the sounds of nature. The trail is a bit less rocky through here, but what we've lost in rocks, we've traded for mud and bog. So this trail has a lot of extremes on it. Mm-hmm. They do have some ways to get around the boggier parts, which will minimize the amount of water you get in your feet, but you're still going to have soggy feet, so just expect that if you choose to hike here in Dolly Sods. Well, tell you what this looks like. It looks like a place that I camped last fall. I'm not sure. Yeah, I believe it is. My wife and I camped here. We did a little trip up here. And it's one of the reasons that I'm alone on this trip is because that trip was when she decided that backpacking was not for her. But anyway, nonetheless, we still stayed a couple days out here and still had a good trip. But it's brings back a few memories of last fall. Remember right in here, I put up a little tarp for a lean-to shelter. And then over right here, I pitched our tent, and we spent our first night out here. Okay, we're coming up on another important intersection. And we're going to be traveling in this direction now, but we are officially on Dobbin Grade, but we're only going to be on it for maybe a quarter of a mile, if that. What you can see in front of you is nothing compared to what lies ahead on Dobbin Grade if you choose to walk that trail. But anyway, here's our intersection sign. We were on Upper Red Creek Trail, and now we're starting on Dobbin Grade, and we'll try to keep our feet as dry as possible while we're on it. And this is one of the differences between a wilderness area and a state park. You see a little trail maintenance every now and again out here, but mainly that's done for the more traveled trails of the park, you know, where, you know, a lot of the day hikers tend to travel. But the trail that I was on yesterday, I never saw any maintenance out there, any kind of trail marker or anything like that. You really had to rely on your GPS or a map if that's what you chose to use. I have a downloaded map of the area, but there's some places the trail is barely visible, if it's visible at all, so you're really relying on your GPS to get you through. The wind's picked up a little bit. I'm not sure how well you can hear me. And let's see if we can't navigate through this mess here. I'm going to try to go around. It's still pretty boggy through here, even in the drier section. Oh, yeah. Okay, and here's another intersection rather, Raven Ridge Trail. We're going to take Raven Ridge, even though it adds just a little bit of distance on the trail with the shortcut I took this morning. We're still coming out ahead, but on down this way is Dobbin Grade, and unless you have hip waders or an inflatable raft, I wouldn't go that way. So here we go. This is the next to last leg of the trail. Once we get up, finish on Raven Ridge Trail, we'll hit Bare Rocks Trail in a couple miles, and we'll be back to the trailhead and back to the truck. Okay, it looks like we're coming up on another intersection here. This should be the last one. And let's see what we got here. Yep, we're on, this is the last leg of the journey right here. We'll be going in this direction. I'll double check the GPS real quick. And yep, that's the direction we're going. Well, we've only got a little over 2 miles to go, and then we're back to the trailhead, back to the truck. Okay, here we are back at the trailhead. Got in a good hike. It's about 12:29 on day 3. And we'll go up here and check on old Blue. See if he's still here waiting on us. I see him up here in the distance. He's the first vehicle on the left up here. Yep, I don't see any damage to old Blue. That's always good. You know, when you leave your vehicle for days at a time at a remote location, you're not always guaranteed that it's going to be in the same condition it was as when you left it. Good shape, just the way we left her. Well, that's at the end of the video, folks. I appreciate you watching.